And trust me, when the pressure hits and your butt cheeks are so clenched that you can hold a credit card like between them, you know what's going to alleviate that pressure? Yes, we're doing a lesson today. I'll admit it, in this past year or so, I have allowed a lot of noise, especially online noise, to creep into my game. Everyone has an opinion, right? You need more power, Karue, your serve isn't big enough, your forehand is too flat, there's all kinds of BS. And I think subconsciously I started listening to that a little bit. I'm obviously playing a lot higher competition all year long, playing only challengers. And all of that combined, all of that noise combined can strip a player, not just myself, but any player, of the most important thing in tennis, which is conviction. The man himself, tennis god Andre Agassi, once told me, you're better off having conviction in the wrong thing than doing the right thing on court but having no conviction about it. And I think over the course of this year, I probably lost some conviction in my own game. And I do believe that it's not just my problem. We just live in a world where there's so much information all the time. Social media, YouTube, someone at the club giving you tips. And it's so easy to let that noise get in your head. And I know I'm part of this problem too. I've done so many lessons online. Sometimes I think I'm being helpful, but you question yourself. All that information can create layers of fat in your game, meaning you're just carrying around extra weight, extra things that are not helpful at all. So today's video is all about that, cutting the fat out of our games. I'm gonna give you a few things that I'm working on in order to eliminate fat that you also should be thinking about. And hopefully by the end of the video, we're gonna be feeling lighter, trimmer, and most importantly, getting that conviction back in our own games. Let's go. So lesson number one, less is more. So in the last couple of weeks, I went and worked with a coach who something I hadn't done in a long time. His name is Karue, with a ton of players, Taylor Fritz, Nakashima, Marcos, Lerner Tien. And the first thing he told me before he even started hitting was, you're trying to do too much, too often. And immediately I knew he was right, because that's how he felt. It felt like I was trying to hit too hard. I was trying to go for targets that were too small. And this is not the first time I've heard this. Andre himself told me that a while back, before I started playing at the end of 2023 there. It was kind of the same thing. You're like, you're trying to do too much here, trying to do too much there, relax. And I'm telling you, so often, less is more on a tennis court. You see, the number one criticism about my game online, which I shouldn't care because it's all people that don't know anything about tennis, but the number one thing is I don't have enough power, I'm not aggressive enough, right? I need to be hitting harder, my forehand doesn't have enough topspin, my serve isn't big enough for the game, right? Once you free yourself from this idea that you need to be hitting bigger, now you can explore a lot more options on the court. You have more options. You can play deep, you can play short on the court to try to really open up the court for you and make the guy run more. The more you're just focus on this linear power forward, the less you're able to play the geometry of the court, right? So here, quick example here. Gustavo is there on the corner on the run. He leaves it short, and that ball, if I just put it right there, he's running so much. He's running so much for that ball, and I took no risk. Especially when playing to the backhand side, right? Making that ball get in front of the player, so he actually has to generate, where a lot of times you find yourself trying to hit power through the player, and they can just get there, use the pace, and redirect, especially on the double-handed backhand side. So let's do it from the other side, where it's like he's there, he leaves it kind of short, I'm here, boom. I don't have to do much. I have to do less. And I've weirdly put it in my head that I needed to do more. And I think a lot of you are probably in the same situation. So if you're an amateur, what you should take from this, from my experience here, trying to add more power or whatever, is that your number one priority is direction. It's not depth, it's not pace, it's direction. You should be able to play the ball into the direction that you want first. See, I'm going middle here, Boom, great. Then I'm gonna go cross a little bit. It's going right around where I want. I'm gonna go cross again, stay there. I'm gonna go to the back and there. My direction is controlled here. And then hopefully I can start speeding that up with time, right? Like, boom, can go a little bit bigger with time. But you as an amateur, if you can control your direction and the ball goes generally in the vicinity of the direction you thought about in your head, you're going to be much better off. And guys, just a quick break here to thank today's video sponsor, Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing you don't. That means all the salt and no sugar. It has a science-backed electrolyte ratio with 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And it has none of the junk, no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, no BS. Element can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. When you sweat, the primary electrolyte lost is sodium. Athletes can lose up to 7 grams per day. And if sodium is not replaced, it's common to experience fatigue and muscle cramps. And as an athlete, those are no-goes, cannot happen. And that's why I take these with me to every trip. As you can see, another hotel room, and Element is always here. So right now, with any order, Element's offering a free 8-count sample pack with Element's most popular drink mix flavors. It's a great way to test them all out, see which one is your favorite. Just go to drinkelement.com/mytennishq. That's drinklmnt.com/mytennishq. Again, I love these. Thank you, Element, for continuing to support the channel. Link in the description. Lesson number 2 to cut the fat. Make them bleed. So that ties into perfectly with lesson number 1. So what I mean by that is the more you commit to simple decisions, depending on your game, however you play and manage each shot, right? But if you're making the right decision, ball in and ball out, you will start feeling like you can handle more that's thrown at you, more if the pace is high, if the spin is high, if you're running a lot, you just start feeling like you can manage more. And that feeling translates into more consistency. At the end of the day, putting balls on the court is still very important. They don't have to always be pretty and perfect as long as they're going in. And if your opponent feels like you always have a solution for what they're doing that keeps the ball in, again, that's not perfect, but it keeps the ball in, you're going to start forcing errors. You're going to make them bleed. Oh. 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 Oh, 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 over the course of a match, if you can maintain simplicity and consistency, you're going to be hard to beat. You know who's the best example of that nowadays? Lerner Tien. The guy doesn't make a bad decision ever. You can watch my matches. He's always kind of playing the right shot. And yes, he's still going to lose, but he's going to be a tough out. So next time you go practice, I want you to remember this. Not every ball you hit has to be perfect. It doesn't always has to be that 2 feet from the baseline with the perfect amount of spin and shape. It's a hard sport. It's hard to hit the ball great all the time. You're going to make errors like that. It's supposed to happen. Karue, it's supposed to happen. But just keep the decision making simple according to your game. Again, I'm more of a driver of the ball. I like to take the ball early. Some people like to use more spin. Some people have a lot of, use the slice a lot on the back and side. It doesn't really matter. Like, just do whatever the ball asks you to do and don't stress yourself over too much. Boom, see? So 2 things that tie in very well together, right? Do less, make them bleed. Lesson number 3, serve and return, you dummies. Serving and returning is so important, returning especially. I've documented my serving transformation and trying to figure out a way to become a better server. I spent a lot of time and energy into that this year, and by no means that was wrong, but I did end up neglecting my returns. I've always been naturally a good returner, so in my head I was like, I have that, I don't have to worry about it. But the reality is the sport has caught up to me. Like, everyone returns really well these days. And amateur players are even worse at this. You obviously don't have as much time as I do to be on the court, right? No one is expecting you to play the same amount as a professional. But when you do have time on court, you spend hours and hours just hitting balls down the middle. I want to have long rallies here, down the middle, right? Which, don't get me wrong, it's fun. Hey, I'm just hitting back and forth here. It's not a bad thing to do. But when it comes to improving performance during a match, this is never going to happen. We're never going to hit balls down the middle like this. We're never just going to be hitting cross courts for hours and hours in a point. But you know what's going to happen in a 3-set match about 100 times? You're going to have to serve and you're going to have to return. Those shots happen every single point. You're either serving or you're returning to start the point. But you spend 95% of your practice not doing that. You can't just come out here, okay, let's hit some serves, okay, great. Oh, I'm good, let's go, like, we're ready. That's just not going to work that way, right? And trust me, when the pressure hits and your butt cheeks are so clenched that you can hold a credit card like between them, you know what's going to alleviate that pressure? Feeling like you can start the point with quality. I know I can make my serves, my second serve is dialed in, and I've been making a lot of returns. That in itself takes so much pressure because we feel pressure early in the point. So spend a little more time serving and returning, make a game out of it, do whatever, have a buddy. But if you spend an hour doing that and then an hour playing, you're gonna be much better off than 2 hours just hitting aimlessly. Oh my God. And the last thing here is go make your own mistakes. Like I said in the beginning, we live in this world where everything and everyone is overcoached. And I do think we lost touch with the importance of figuring things out on our own. Making your own mistakes, figuring out your own path can teach you a lot more than any shortcut on the internet ever will. It leads to self-understanding and eventually excellence. And I'm not saying coaching isn't important and that resources like this, you're watching this video right now, will not help you. But you need to be aware of your own process and then obviously enjoy it versus just trying to get to the final destination. And I get it, it's harder said than done. We want the results. We want to be a sort of like the final destination, whatever that may be. I know my limitations on court. I'm painfully aware of them. And yet here I am. I'm one of the top 300 players in the whole world. Whatever your level is, the point is find your own path. Stop looking for someone else's path online. Don't even listen to me right now. Just learn how to do your thing, because usually when you see a player who's a little awkward, who's hard to beat, it's almost like, oh, they figured out their own way of doing it. And that's always been the part of tennis that I enjoy, like just figuring out how to hit the ball slightly better. The results, they don't bring me so far up or so far down, but the fun of like feeling like your toolbox is getting bigger and bigger, that you can do more things on the court, it's always been the most fun thing to me. And again, it's just tennis. If you guys are not pros, enjoy it. Have fun. Don't get so crazy about it. Cut the fat. Oh, and last thing, move your feet. I'll see you on the next one.